What's happening? I'm back, YouTube. It's been a while. It's been a long time. And if you're watching on TikTok, it hasn't been that long, but for YouTube, it's been quite some time. My last video was probably my 2025 in the boat video that I filmed, where I kind of just laid out all the rods I was going to use for the season and what I was going to use them for. And I haven't gotten around to making that video yet this season for this season for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, I'm still using the same stuff. I haven't changed up a whole lot in regard to like my core Mississippi River fishing, rods. I still swim jig my butt off with a 734 Champ. I still throw a Colt 734 for a spook whenever I can. I still throw a 736 with a frog every day. I crank with a 705. Like the core staples just haven't changed. And I didn't feel like making the same video I've made for, 4 or 5 years in a row. So what's reason number two? I got some new rods, and I have been putting some new rods to the test, and I just want to make a video with more emphasis on those. So without further ado, I got the opportunity to try out a handful of the Xtasy models, both newer ones and ones that have been around for a while, but mostly new to me. So without further ado, I'm going to grab these. Check these out. So, what did we get? We got the Xtasy 756, we got the Xtasy 755, and we got the Xtasy 754. And I'm going to start talking about the Xtasy 756. This rod reminds me quite a bit of the 736 in regard to power. It's got the power. It's very similar to the 36 in regard to horsepower. Where it's different from the 736, in my opinion, is obviously sensitivity, quality of, the build. The cork is amazing. But sensitivity was the big one that I was after because I wanted a big, heavy rod for flipping big, heavy jigs. And while the 736 is certainly good at that, I love having rods that are very specific to kind of one technique. So I load this up with a 150 or 200 size reel full of braid. And I throw 3/4 ounce, ounce and a quarter jigs at a local lake that there's quite a bit of standing timber at. If I was asked what else would I use this rod for, I think it'd be a great frog rod. And I might try it for frogs, especially being just a bit longer. But we haven't done that with it yet because, again, we love the 736. But if you were looking for a rod that could like lightly punch, definitely can flip the big jigs, or throw a frog all day. This is definitely that. Liking it a lot. See this one in the boat for a long time. 755 makes a return. I had one of these a few years ago. It's been a while. I don't remember when I got rid of it. Actually, I think I broke it and I just ended up trying out a different rod and didn't replace it. But we got one back in our lives, and this thing is still good as usual. This rod, though, is a little less specific to me. There's not one technique that I think this thing, like, it just stands out for, which is totally fine. I think it's kind of like that 735, where you can use it for, like, the heavier end of a lot of applications. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's a great, skinny dipper, swim bait style rod, weedless swim bait rod. It's a great, obviously flip with it. I like a swimming worm. I like that big, like when I throw a bigger swimming worm or a bigger worm, I think it's a great rod for that. And I think you can also throw a frog on it. I haven't really done much of that because, again, 736. But good all-around rod. Happy to have it back. Using it pretty regularly. 754. This rod I threw on the order just to try it out. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Whew, boy, am I glad I did. This rod is my favorite of these three. It's very specific, but it's so good at what it does. And that is kind of like light, not heavy cover flipping, just, light flipping, like around maybe a sparse laydown or maybe light grass, or maybe I'm going to use it for bed fishing. Drew Cook has talked this rod up for years as his favorite bed fishing rod. And I couldn't understand it. I'm like, 4-power, Drew Cook's catching giants on a 4-power. Not that you can't do that, but when you're wrangling them out of pads and things, that was a surprise. This rod, to me, is like a 4.5 power, or maybe even closer to a 5. But it does not feel like it with regard to balance or sensitivity. This rod is the bomb. I've gotten to use it bed fishing. I've gotten to use it lightly flipping. I have been looking for a rod like this in the Dobyns lineup for a very long time. And a lot of people use Champion Extreme 745, or they'll use a Champion Extreme 744. I tried both those rods and I liked them. I just didn't like them as much as I like this rod. It is worth every penny for this bad boy. And you know, if someone's like, hey, Brady, we're going to take away these 3 rods you got here and you got to go back to using your other stuff, which one would you want to keep if you got to keep one? 754. I love this thing. I mean, balanced, lightweight, powerful. It's great. I love it. You should try it out. Let me know what you think. I know these are spendy, but what isn't these days? And it is a very, very worthwhile one, especially if you're needing to feel every little thing as you flip and drag something around. So anyway, it's good to check in. I'm going to probably make a couple more videos here about the other new rods I've got coming, or I already have. I've been using these since February, and I just didn't want to make one right away after I got them, right? I wanted to use them for quite a while, and I've used these for quite a while. And you know, those are my thoughts on them. I think all 3 are great at what they do. Can't go wrong with any of them if you're looking for something to fill that hole. Let me know what you think.